Hey everyone, what's up? It's Dead Slayer here. So I come across it like in the past couple of days where, you know, I forget which guy it is, but he kind of looks like a main character from the Hangover. I don't know if you've seen that, but bearded guy, and he looks kind of like he's putting on a face where he just doesn't care. So it's, and he makes all these videos where they're like extremely like backing up the left. Wow, did I do that yesterday? I'm not taking medications. This is day 3 without taking medication, and I'm slowly starting to like get my functionality back. And I noticed, like, even though I'm getting distracted by stuff really easily, that's kind of a good thing. And I was watching a TikToker the other day. Maybe I watched it today, but they were also saying that, you know, maybe it's a good thing and it's my job to get distracted and, you know, divert my attention and stuff. So yeah, you know, I'm starting to listen to the world around me and what it speaks. But to get back to it, I mean, just to play devil's advocate, and you know, you think like, well, why is like you know, a loser like me sort of like gonna start defending like people who are ridiculously powerful, you know, like billionaires. So the argument on TikTok that I was watching was basically, you know, that billionaires are all like evil, and they're kind of like if you think billionaires are good, then you're a moron. And then it goes down into like how they steal all your labor and exploit you and everything else. And I feel like, you know, that's a really attractive thing to think of when you're kind of in debt, and you know, you work in a dead-end job that's got no career prospects, and yeah, it beats you down, it wears you down, and everything else, and your life feels kind of hopeless, doesn't it? It's like, you know, you've got all these people in charge of you who seem to own you, and you can't do anything about it. And you know, like backing up a billionaire is just like crazy. Why would you do that? You know, because like they've got all this money, like they're hoarding wealth, and everyone else is just making them more wealthy. And you know, it's like, what can you give me? And the video that I watched, like, because I'm watching like Elon Musk at the moment on X, you know, on his own platform, and he's just a small voice on his own platform. So I don't really understand like the massive following that he gets, or like the amount of attention he gets to that, because his voice is just like, it's his 10 pence worth. Oh shit! I killed a rabbit. So anyway, yeah, it's just his 10 pence worth. It's his opinion. It's his, you know, like everyone else's. So yeah, there's that. But you know, I'm watching like sometimes like in defending himself and like saying, well, you know, paid more money in taxes than anyone else ever alive, and you know, like things like that. And you know, the video that he posted was one where he's saying, you know, it's looking at the Swedish economy and how like capitalists, you know, like arguing in favour of capitalism. Capitalists create something of value that everyone can enjoy. And you know, I kind of feel like, yeah, that's alright. It's good to say that, but that could happen in a socialist place, and it could be more democratically informed, because everyone who uses it would have an equal say on it, because it would be made by the people for the people, and everyone would be using it equally. It's have access to it equally. Like the idea of like national transport, national rail. But the thing is the inescapable thing that I see is, that's arguing in favour of a free market, and also treating it like a free market, and also treating it like we've got free choice, and that there's different laws that that make us all be able to have like a lot of different choices with how we live and how we survive and get by. And in the free world, as it's like very misleadingly said, it isn't the free world. Freedom isn't free. That's the whole reason behind how the American dream is supposedly dead because of that. And I would try and make a video about it yesterday, but because I hadn't taken any meds, it was kind of all over the place, and I wasn't that aware of names being said and things, and I was just like basically like doxing family members and everything, and I can't be doing anything like that. But I was trying to like explain it with this second floor that I've made, which if you saw the last video, I turned it into like a restaurant. And Daniel here, he's like he had the whole entire floor for himself, but now he doesn't, because I've got plans for more people to come in. But it's the idea, like, together you make something that's better, in fact, I can't even remember where I was going with it. I'm just like really liking where I've got up to with this. What was I on about? Oh yeah, so in defense of billionaires, well, I'd say like it's this. Oh yeah, I remember now. So Daniel, in real life, Daniel's got a job. He has to eat, clothe himself. He needs shelter and warmth. He needs to be able to live. And we'll say in a free market, if say Daniel built his own way of life. He makes his own warmth. He builds his own shelter. And in this day and age, in the way that the global economy works, the way that the global economy is the land's already owned. It's already owned by government or state, and there's laws behind being able to just build your own house. Because if we could just have access to materials, a lot of us probably would just get on with it. And I know for facts, like if I want to convert the attic space into like an apartment, into another room that I could use, I'd have to get my landlord's permission, and when I've finished building it, they would actually increase the rent for the improvements that I've made. So I have to go back to like paying for what I've got already. And the idea of even if I bought everything myself, or cut a lot of trees down, grew a lot of trees, cut them all down, planted a lot of new ones to be environmentally friendly, that it still would have been mine anyway. And then I was thinking, well, winter time I tried saving a lot of money by not using the heating, and again, it's like, well, my heating's powered by gas. There's I have to cook with gas, my hot water to wash myself, to bathe myself or shower, you know, is all coming from gas. So I'm having to. It's not like I have a choice for that one. If I don't pay, I'm using cold water. I'm eating cold food. I'm wearing all the clothes I've got in my house to keep warm. So in order to like keep you know, to be able to maintain my life, I need a job. And to that extent, like I just feel, you know, for many people who are billionaires and business leaders, they are, you know, there are leaders that they've got a constant like responsibility, if you like, to create jobs, create opportunities, to create the means in which we can live our lives. And if they're not working hard to do that, people don't get to live, you know. So I think for someone to be going around the world making jobs and, you know, building huge factories to make, you know, sustainable you know, electric cars. I mean, okay, you can go into all the ins and outs of, you know, how clean is electric as a fuel source, because, you know, we're looking at how many power plants there are that, you know, are green energy and clean energy, and how friendly like solar energy is, because, you know, looking at you know, the Chinese mountains that have been turned into like an almost like spectacular world wonder, you know, by having, you know, huge, you know, how many hectares, thousand hectares of land taken up by solar panels. You know, it looks spectacular. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. It looks like something that I don't feel like I was going to be able to live long enough to see. But taking note of like how many trees have been knocked down and how, you know, deforestation like adds to global warming and everything, you know, you kind of wonder like just how good even is the solar energy anyway. You know, to what extent is this going to be a solar thing? And, you know, then you go back into, you know, promoting nuclear energy. But my whole point really is like, you know, built, you know, the idea that we're changing from just burning fuel to, you know, sourcing it to electricity. You know, the idea of, you know, in relation to like the small person, i.e. myself, me, you know, the person who's got to like put food on his own table and pay his own bills. I feel like cool, you know. I've you know, if I didn't have to burn gas to keep warm, and I could just use electric instead, you know, that gas could be used to probably even make the solar panels. I mean, potentially, who knows? So yeah, I feel like in, you know, in defense of billionaires, I'd say, you know, they are creating our opportunities to live, you know, and we have to make the most of that. And it's kind of like, it's insulting to ignore the lives that we've got, while I guess people are working hard to make them. I mean, to some extent, I mean, who knows? Because, you know, I'm quite small, quite narrow-minded at the moment in terms of, you know, thinking and looking about myself. But I mean, the other one is like, okay, so we say like it's, you know, we shouldn't be defending billionaires because they're just too powerful. They should be defending themselves. But under that idea, like how many people around the world, big or small, like would defend God and die defending God. So when I think of like, you know, big people and small people and fighting for what, you know, I feel like you know, the chap's doing a good job. But I also see it in relation to where I'm up to a moment in my life where I just have non-stop problems at the moment, where I just feel like I'm under attack by the world and I've got to defend myself. And it's funny because I'm just wasting all my time. So I feel like, you know, why is a billionaire concerned with wasting his time trying to justify, you know, that that capitalism isn't inherently bad. I mean, to go back to, you know, the idea of actually no, just to revert back to a moment in time where, you know, I was, you know, very anti-capitalist and looking at stuff like this. Is like there's the old capitalist propaganda to fight socialist propaganda at the time was, you know, that a lot of capitalists, rich capitalists, have had always had to combat this sort of like shame of having to, you know, having to live where they're really wealthy and well off, and there's a lot of people who aren't wealthy and well off. And I just feel, to myself, I feel like, you know, what's wrong with that? But at the same time, the promotion of it was the promotion of the idea that they shouldn't actually have to carry such shame, because I think it was like a cartoon video where some guy borrows some money from people with money, and you know, it makes a car, and suddenly like everybody's getting around faster. And there we go. He's able to also benefit, pay off his loans, and get back. You know, the people that we should be really worried about and concerned with are people who make money, who don't actually create anything. They don't actually generate any value or wealth. And to that point, I feel like people who profit from, you know, investing, like gambling in a sense, but I feel like even gambling is more ethical, brings more to the table. You know, I mean, somebody who has money and loans it, to me, is like, you know, they are doing a job. However, banks seem to make an awful lot of money from interest rates, you know, doing that. And to me, I just feel like the amount you have to work. I mean, you know, to say that like you can go, that banks can afford to promote themselves and market and sell money, you know, and have you, you know, look at buying something that perhaps you don't need, when banks could actually sell you, you know, spend the equal amount of money telling you, you know, how to, why you shouldn't be buying something, why you should be saving it up. and promote savings accounts and steady investment and not make money. I feel like there's a lot more effort to sell credit cards and debt onto people without, the idea that this debt is something that you're going to create work for, and yeah, it kind of, it could go on. I could go on. Anyway, that's over the amount of time I wanted to spend. But yeah, it's just an interesting trail of thought, really, to think like that we can't escape our responsibilities. At the end of the day, I can't start lighting a fire and living in a tent because the law will just say, will just move me on. I can't open up my fireplace because my landlord's, illicitly said I can't do that. That it's sealed off, it's non-functionable, and we don't want the fire hazard. So, I can't just start using like television license threats and keep using them to keep myself warm, and all the other bump that gets shoved through my door. I mean, if I could do that, I would definitely, I would cook my food with it, because it's, such a waste, because I don't even have a TV, so I feel like, yeah, what a waste. But I'm gonna leave it there anyway, because I feel like I've wrapped up. I feel like I've said enough. I haven't really got anything done on Terraria. I don't know what to do with this next floor, to be honest. I mean, maybe I should wait until I get more people and figure out what needs doing. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Make sure you pay your bills. If you can't pay your bills, I don't know what you can do, because fuck me, that's depressing. Oh well, maybe I'll just carry on. So anyway, I was thinking as well, like in terms of like medication and addiction. I was thinking to myself, well, if I'm currently, on subsidised treatment, and I'm moaning and complaining, and I'm not really functioning properly, and I've got like a world of problems, built up through anxiety and God knows whatever else, and I've just feel to myself, well, it's kind of one of these where, well, if I've got everything, what am I missing then? And I was kind of thinking, well, I'm missing hope, like something that's gonna stop me from being cynical and have belief, and making those own reasons for it are tough and challenging, but to look at that sort of idea, I just feel like it's, I find it too hard to believe that most of homelessness is caused by untreated mental illness and addiction, because enough having been untreated, I've been able to manage a job and a lifestyle for a long time, and you know, it's only being treated that, you know, I'm having like super issues, to be honest, because treatment alone doesn't exist on its own. And what I mean by that is like the success of treatment depends on cooperation from external parties. You know, it's like saying, you know, I'm gonna start taking medication now, so everyone in my life, you know, please be patient with me because I'm gonna go through a lot of changes, and expecting them to, you know, be absolutely perfect and smooth taking that. To which case, you know, I don't feel like I don't feel like everyone can or everyone has, you know. And I think it would be, you know, almost wrong to do that. So, you know, subsidising treatment. I mean, I feel like treatment is only, you know, partially subsidised anyway, but it costs money, you know, and waiting lists cost money. So it's a case of who do you ask to be patient then, you know, in terms of like getting treatment, getting subsidised treatment. Because if you subsidise something, waiting lists go up, and people suffer while they're waiting to be treated. So do you say everybody who doesn't need treated needs to be patient with people who need treating? Or do you put the onus on, you know, the person who's waiting to get treated to be patient and hold it together? You know? I don't know, but definitely like having even comprehensive treatment isn't like everything. I would say that. I would also say as well that it's not necessarily completely true that everyone ends up homeless because of mental illness and addiction. Because it can also be for chunky other factors like suddenly losing hope and sight. I don't know if you can say like, well, this will impact on your mental health, then this will mean that that you should you know get help and support, but you know, how big and how broad is that? To me, it's like if my basic, you know, needs were subsidised, I wouldn't have to really worry. It'd just be a case of working for some place that that I'd have purpose at, you know, like if I didn't have to pay for the electric, the gas, and the roof over my head, but I still had to have a job. The onus would be on, well, let's make the job somewhat meaningful then. But a lot of places like maybe they don't have hope or belief or faith in themselves, you know. I mean, I feel like working for, again, looking at Elon Musk, I feel like working for, you know, on his, you know, on his rockets, that would be quite an exciting feat, you know, to get somebody over the way to Mars, you know, to start a new chapter in you know, the human race. Brilliant, you know, to have your name like, you know, egotistically like imprinted, like you're going to be able to see it when you're dead. Sorry, I'm a bit negative, but you know, why? No, I've completely lost it. Time for me to go to bed. I need to stop. Okay, good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see what I get done next.